There was a time, before my time, where milk came easy. A man would come in the night like a lactating shadow, and on your doorstep in the morning would be a delicious little breakfast time treat. Now the only milkman is the one with the courage to get in there and squeeze. We don't appreciate him because the illusion has been broken. But the truth is, it's always been an illusion. And now, like Sisyphus, we've been left confounded, working the teat of something that was never there. We all know a chick with big natties should have been dropping off those bottles. And she should have flew. Flied? She should have flied. Like a Santa. Abraham Lincoln, 1865. These were his last words before they took his orb. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that waxes philosophical until it's hairless.
The third Sonic the Hedgehog movie finally got a real trailer. I know we all kind of figured this would be the case, but Keanu works pretty good as Shadow, and there's very little human Kevin in the trailer, except for this shot where it looks like he might die. Ooh, he's not gonna die. If he actually dies, I'll say these are good movies. Speaking of bad movies, Borderlands 4 just got announced in a move that was probably intended to be a lot more triumphant when they scheduled it months ago. As much as the internet has sort of soured on Borderlands, if you like that style of game and aren't into grindy time sync live services, there's really not a lot of other options floating around. Weirdly enough, as popular as Borderlands was in its heyday, there weren't many other games that copied the formula to any significant level of success. Except maybe Dying Light. A new Dying Light has been announced, called Dying Light the Beast.
Every man has an animal within. If you push too much, you might unleash the beast.
So true. I am always saying that. The game stars the protagonist of the first game, and he's got zombie powers, which I thought was the thing of the protagonist of the second game. Hopefully they let you fucking actually use them this time. Some members of the press got to have some hands-on time with Metal Gear Solid Delta, and it is a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. We're talking fade to black area transitions, all the same voiceover audio, every cutscene is a shot-for-shot recreation, every enemy is in the same place. This is not a modern remake like what Capcom's been doing with Resident Evil, for example. There is a little bit of an update to the controls and gameplay with over-the-shoulder aiming, a crouch walk, and the ability to change camo without opening the start menu, but you can't move around like you can in Metal Gear Solid 5. This is meant to be Metal Gear Solid 3, basically exactly how you remember it being, and that's probably a good thing. Unless you, haven't played it and don't care, or you just replayed it. Dragon Age The Veilguard is coming out on Halloween. Ooh, spooky the dragons, bleh. Yeah, I don't know what the connection is there either, but we're finally getting to see a good amount of the game, including some in-depths on skill trees and combat. That all looks pretty decent, although one thing I picked up on is that a lot of what they're showing is kind of linear, and this is an open world game, I think, especially since the big problem with the last one was how much it had you running around doing fucking nothing. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has been getting these little trailers about how the game works. You like these little trailers, you fucking baby? Nah, it looks fun. I guess she has the Link sword, though. What was the point of that? I thought the whole thing was you could make a jacuzzi and you didn't need that. Deadlock is officially that new shit. If you've never heard of it, Deadlock is the new Valve game that's half hero shooter, half MOBA, and it's currently in limited access and early development. They're doing this weird secret club bullshit with it where someone who's already in has to invite you, but there's no limit on that, so it just seems more like a marketing thing than anything else. There were like 100,000 people playing it at one point. It ain't that exclusive. The game is pretty fun. We'll see if Valve runs it into the ground trying to make it an esport, but at least for the foreseeable future, this is gonna be the game for a bit. Also, if I was somebody with like a heavy creative investment in Battleborn, if that person even exists, I would eat gun seeing this fucking do as well as it has. Ironically, it's currently battle-borning Sony's Overwatch ripoff Concord, which does not seem like it's gonna be around for too long. I said on Twitter that these characters look like NPCs from the first town of a scrapped sci-fi RPG. I'm kind of stuck on that thought, to be honest. Everyone who wants a mid-gen refresh, rejoice! There's a new Xbox, but actually not really. So Xbox dropped 2 new versions of the Series X. One of them doesn't have a disk drive, and the other one does and has a 2 terabyte hard drive. This probably means there's no Xbox Series Z or whatever. God, I just did the Xbox 720 thing. When the Xbox 360 was out, people are like, oh, the next one's gonna be called the 720, and I was like, no, it's not, you fucking dumb shits. And then it came out and it was called the Xbox One, which is arguably worse. Anyway, the PlayStation Pro has been leaked like 8 separate times. The last leaker guy drew it and said there would be an announcement coming this month, so if that doesn't happen, what, we crucify him? Are we all agreeing on that? We put him on a cross? And I'm personally kind of confused as to why exactly everyone seems to want this so bad. The Switch made sense because Mario's trapped on it, but the PS5 and the Xbox, I mean, they're basically just little PCs at this point. If you want something more powerful and more expensive, you could just buy that right now. Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct, probably the last one before they announced the Switch 2, which isn't a rumor. They've already confirmed it in the most boring way possible. So this was just a lot of ports and shit we've seen before. As someone that has to sort through all the gaming news every month, I'm fucking squinting at this thing, trying to decipher if any of these are even announcements. I think they announced a SpongeBob game, and this hoverboard traversal game called Star Overdrive looks kind of cool. I don't know if it's new, but it's the first time I'm seeing it. There's also a game called Date Everything, where the objective is to fuck every inanimate object in your house. I don't know if gamers need to be told to do that. But yeah, you pretty much know the score by this point. The Switch is an entropy machine, and every indie game or third-party non-AAA game from 10 plus years ago is destined to one day end up on it. Metal Gear Solid 4 may finally be released from the shackles of the PlayStation 3 and its weird architecture. I guess this hasn't been confirmed directly, but the existing re-release collection is called Master Collection Volume 1, and when asked about it directly, a representative from Konami said, like, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, what next number guess will be, or something stupid like that. Also, Red Dead Redemption, the first one, might be coming to PC finally. They basically just copy-pasted the wrong description onto the PlayStation Network. Like, it literally says, now on PC for the first time ever. I don't know who that's an impression of. Come on, Dutch. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 got a new trailer. That's that JRPG that looks like Persona, but super AAA fantasy Unreal Engine style. And I don't hate what I'm seeing. I'm kind of a sucker for timing-based mechanics and turn-based RPGs, so that shit made me raise an eyebrow like a DreamWorks character. He's right behind me, isn't he? There's gonna be a new Mafia game called Mafia: The Old Country. It's been a while since I played Mafia 3, but if memory serves, it was a pretty serviceable GTA-style time period piece, notable for maybe having the highest slur per minute quota of any game I've ever played. Well, maybe if you don't count the online ones. Monster Hunter Wilds got like 3 trailers going over the gameplay mechanics of the game, and you can ride a giant rooster. Wouldn't be the first time you climbed up on a big old monster cock, would it? I'm kidding. I'm proud of you, champ. Have all the parades you want. So a little while ago, we reported that Microsoft was closing Tango Gameworks, the studio behind Hi-Fi Rush, which is a sick fucking game. But if this is the first you're hearing about it and going, oh, that sucks, yeah, don't worry, they're back. Krafton, the publisher for PUBG, bought them and wants to get cracking on Hi-Fi Rush 2. Feels good to finally win one in this industry. In other news that is just gonna kind of make you mad, Crash Bandicoot 5 was gonna be a crossover game with Spyro, and it got canceled because fuck you. There's going to be a remaster of Yooka-Laylee called Yooka Replay Ye. I actually hated saying that. Awful mouthfeel. Yooka-Laylee was one of those Kickstarter disappointment era games, and it wasn't horrible, wasn't great either, but I don't know if it was worth remaking. Although they'll remake just about anything these days. But come on! Anyway, here are the game releases for the month. I'm Lyle Rath, and this has been Pregame Discharge. Come back next time, lest you waltz through a cacophony of goo on your lonesome. I shall be your lantern through the sludge. Mark my words.